Welcome to the weekly show here. We are so excited. This show is about empowering humanity through education and inspiration. I am so excited today, especially today, because I could not believe that my husband says yes to me to come and be with us on the show today. Doesn't happen. He is the greatest supporter. He is absolutely my angel. He support me in so many ways, but don't ask him to come on the camera or come out, in the public or whatever it is. So when I asked him yesterday, I said, "Would you like to come and support me on the show?" And he said, "Yeah, maybe." I said, "What do you mean, my baby?" So I grabbed that maybe, okay? And you know what it is? I grabbed the baby and I kept it going. I'm like, that means you are gonna be with us tomorrow. So he is with us today, and I'm so excited about that. And also I have Stephanie Thompson.
Hi, everyone. Hi. So I'm the entertainment director for Empowering Humanity, and I've known Aimmee for close to a decade now. So she's been my mentor and coach, and she's just changed my life in so many ways. And that's why I'm here supporting her today, because she has made an impact in my life, and I want to be a part of her impacting other people's lives, which I know she's going to be doing. So anyway, welcome everyone. Nice to see you, and hand it over to Tom.
Yes, Tom. Yes,
Hi.
Tom. And
How you guys? How's everybody doing? And how did I let you talk me into this?
I did it now. There's no way you can't run away now. You can't run away because you're with us, and I know you are. We're blessed to have you. So it's like me. I'm blessed to have you in my life.
No, I'm the one that's blessed.
Aww. Isn't that sweet?
After 28 years, that's a good thing, isn't it? I
Yeah.
think that's a great thing to have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great things to have. And 28 years, so almost 3 decades now together. And in these 3 decades, we grew together, we learned from each other, and really, I never ever thought I will be doing what I'm doing today. And he was the biggest cheerleader for me to say, go, 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 and you could do it, because I don't know what he saw in me. He dragged me into go, 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 and you need to be, talking to people, and they need to see you, whatever it is. And here I am. I am making it too, so.
You have a natural gift. I think I recognize that early on with you. You have a very natural gift of communicating very, very deep, interesting things. So when you told me the things you wanted to do, I thought that would really be perfect for you.
Yeah, I know. Every time, like anything else, it's hard for me because I never wanted to be in the public too. We run a business together, and as Tom can tell you, I have an entrepreneur mind, and I was so happy just working in the background. I did not want to be in the front. And when I wrote my book, and then I started to go speak and everything, and he's like, "No, you need to get out there, and you need to share your wisdom with other people, because you might save someone's life, let them see their life from a different perspective." So. And here I am because of you, Mr. Tom. And now you made it happen. You came on the show, and I'm so excited about that. And I dragged you. So,
Yeah,
hey,
sure.
You taught me something. It's like when you taught me English. And so I couldn't stop talking anymore.
No, that's okay. Yeah. Yeah, with a lot of the things, you started, even in the past, in the different businesses and whatnot, and you came to me about some of the things, I was, I don't know if you'll be able to do that, but I think I should learn better by now, and just know, absolutely. whatever you put your mind to, you're going to accomplish it.
Thank you. And you never doubted me, and that was the beauty. I doubted myself at times, and you never doubted that, ever.
No.
And that was the beauty of support. Most people, they thought you were supporting me and helping me in what I'm doing, in the speaking or in creating my classes or all that stuff. That's what they thought you were helping me in the background.
No. Yeah, no. I mean, I could come around, if I come around your desk for 10 minutes, I get a headache.
Yeah.
I've got to leave.
I know.
It's just too many different things going on, and no, I mean, it's mind-boggling, really, how you do all that kind of stuff, especially, I mean, I'm sure as everyone knows, I mean, 4th grade education, dyslexia, being held back in school, and it still to this day, it always just boggles my mind, really, really how sharp you are, and all the things that you do,
Thank you, and that's really what helps me to believe, because I know you're very honest with me.
Oh, absolutely.
At times too, you were harsh. I could say that you were harsh at times, and when you needed to be harsh, you wanted me to open up more, because you're like, I see in you, you have more in you than you're showing it to other people.
Sure.
So I think this time now coming on Facebook, maybe it's an opportunity, and that's what you've been telling me. It's an opportunity for me to share what I learned throughout my journey, more than speaking or the coaching or anything else, or my TV show. I have a great guest on the TV show, but you said this is it for you because you need to share your wisdom. So I'm blessed to have someone who believes in me the way you do, and Stephanie too, almost a decade. So she never gets sick of me. She never gets sick of my coaching, even though sometimes I'm harsh on her too. But we became like sisters more, and
Yeah.
I am so honored to have her helping me with the TV show networking event where she does the entertainment, director entertainment. She handles all the music part of it, and she is a great singer, songwriter. I mean, she brings her talent to the table.
I think the Stephanie we see today, I mean, compared to the Stephanie, all those years ago you met, the Stephanie we see today is remarkable, where she's elevated to.
Thank you, Tom.
It's
you.
amazing. Really.
That means a lot coming from Tom, because Tom is a straight shooter.
He is a straight shooter.
He does not tell you anything but the truth.
Well, let me tell you, I tell you more truth about you. You had all this. It's not like I gave her something. I did not give her anything. What it did is like I polished that dime that was inside of this box. That's what it is. You can't give somebody something, they don't have. If they don't have it, everybody has something. But the key is to discover what their gifts are, which area they have the best that you could take out and polish that. And I think what happened with Stephanie, I was able to help her see her own gift more, and then maybe help her navigate it, and she started writing. Tell us about your writing.
So what happened was an amazing thing. After Aimmee and I wrote The Rise Above together and did the video and everything, and Aimmee directed it. And
Which you never believed that you could write it with me,
I never believed that I could write that song with her. Have a song about peace in the world. I mean, I wasn't a songwriter at that point.
You were looking for a songwriter.
I was looking for people to write songs for me. And so when she said, I think you can write this song with me. No, she didn't say, I think you. She said, I know you can. And she was so sure. And it just gave me confidence. And sure enough, we started talking, and it was very organic, and we started writing together. And I was remembering things from her book and kind of downloading things. And as she was telling me stories, and the two of us together just really came up with something really special. And then the next morning, I woke up out of a dead sleep at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and the melody was in my head. And I knew then that I'd been given a very special gift. And then amazingly, after the Rise Above was finished, all of a sudden I started writing songs right and left. I just started downloading songs, and
Beautiful.
I had become a songwriter overnight. It was
So
just like,
what I did, it just brought her gift out, basically.
yeah, that's what you do. You bring
her gift
you bring
and just brought her out.
you bring the best of people out. That's what you
So
do.
now today we have a great subject because we're gonna talk about what's the subject today. By the way, Stephanie's here to support me,
Yes.
to say hello to everyone on
Yes.
the Facebook.
Yes.
And to tell me the messages are coming in, and Tom here to support me, to ask me some questions too, and get into a great subject. So let's start. Are you ready?
Yes,
Are we
let's do
having
it.
anyone watching right now?
Yes,
Okay.
we are. We
Just hit like so we could see you.
Yes.
Likes and love, we like those.
Yeah, exactly. So today's topic is how to adapt to change with ease and grace. And I love that. I'm very excited to hear what Aimmee has to say about that. What do you think, Tom?
No pressure.
Well, this is kind of different for me, this setup, because I'm so used to talking to Aimmee just one-on-one directly. But I was going to just refer back a little bit to where she was talking about you and everything, and I was going to say, a lot of times I noticed that she's very modest because really there's a special gift with Aimmee that she really knows how to look at things from really different perspectives and see very deeply in things. And like a great coach, there's a lot of coaches out there. And a good coach knows how to bring out the best on their players, and that's a real gift. And I just think that's what Aimmee has. She has a true gift, being able to see very deeply and really bring out really unique things. Anyway,
Okay.
now. What was it again, Stephanie? You asked me something. What do I think about today?
So what do you think about the topic today? How to adapt to change with ease and grace?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, let's get into
Let's see.
and
Let's
see,
see.
because that's always a good way to approach things. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And usually I just don't like to over prepare about subject because I just like to be present and things comes out naturally, and because there is some things just comes out in a way that I could relate to what I did to learn about change and how I adapted to change, because obviously I lived 13 years in the war and we had to learn how to change in a second. We had to run from place to place. We had to really move from place to place. We had to change the way we eat, change the way we cook, change the way we go shopping, change the way we take a shower, change the way we deal with electricity or water, or how we with everything. I mean, literally a lot of change. So I feel like I learned a lot about change, and that's where I feel I kind of qualify talking about change. So let's talk about change. When I don't like just to give tips and say, okay, tip number 1, tip number 2, tip number 3, just go ahead and apply these and then that will make it easy for you. That's not how I like to approach a subject. How I like to approach subject is I want you to understand the subject in a way that you really can picture it right in front of you, so then you could look at it and understand how to deal with it. Okay? So when we talk about change, we deal with change every single day in our lives. Every day there is change around us, but we get into routine. You go to work, you come back, you go grocery, weekend you have fun with your family or whatever it might be. You have some kind of routine. I don't know how many of you, maybe you could notice you when you're going to work or you're coming back, or even if you work from your house. Some builders, they build around you for 2-3 months and you don't even notice. And then one day you drive there and you're like, when they built this, I never even noticed this. You see, you don't even notice that they even built a new shopping center here or a new house or something like that. Why? Because you're straight into your routine every day. But changes are happening around you at all times. But they're happening, from your perspective, they're happening in a slower pace, from your perspective. From outside perspective, they're moving very fast. Changes are moving very fast around you. You are slowing down and focusing on your task every day to survive every day for you, what you want to do. You're focusing on your life. So when you understand that you are already dealing with changes every day, then you understand that changes are good. The changes are here. The key is how much you understand change and why we go shocked when we have a big change. Why? Well, first of all, when you have something shocking like what's happening right now with this virus situation we're dealing with all over the world, the reason we're getting shocked because our muscles are not used to change. We're not used to change. So therefore, we're shocked right now. And when we see something big happen, we go in fear. And the fear of unknown. You see, fear of unknown. What is this? We don't understand it. We don't know how to deal with it. So therefore, when you're going through a change, your fear of unknown will show up. And you back away from it because you're like, I'm shutting down right now. What is this? This is not familiar for me. I was going through my routine and this has happened. It slapped me in my face. Well, guess what? That happened to me when I was 12 years old. I was just in the room with my brother. I turned my back and then a bomb came and killed my brother in front of my eyes. Don't tell me that's not a change, right? That was a huge change for 12 years old. And that was just the smallest story, after that, I went from change to change to change to change to change. So I was like beat by change. However, if change has been given to us for a reason, to mold us, to give us wisdom, if we don't have a change, we sit still. If we don't have change in our life, we don't grow. We don't expand. We don't become creative. Because of the change, we become creative. You become a creative if you can understand the change is here for you to get you better. So don't be afraid of it. So when you're not afraid of the change, then it's not unknown anymore. Well, yeah, it is unknown until you make it known and you figure out a new way to do it. Therefore, you're growing, you're stretching, your muscles are stronger, and now next time you get faced with another hit, you go, wait a minute, is this another time for me to calm down, not to put myself in the fear, the unknown? Is the opposite, is to find solution for the unknown, face what it is, and find solution for it.
We have some questions. So Judy has a two-part question. She says, why is it that it's so hard for people to adapt to change? And then the next part, isn't change the only thing we can be sure of?
Yeah, well, it is hard for people because they're going through routine and they're not noticing the change around them. Of course it's hard. So there is something you can do every day. Every day do something different. Every day when you're driving somewhere, try to notice something different. So your brain, you start to understand there is different things happening around you. When you are aware of surrounding, the more that you are aware of surrounding, the more you can face the unknown. Okay, because your muscles are stronger than when you are just routine. So in order to face that, you need to practice your muscles. And like again, we face changes are around us all the time. Without change, we don't exist. Change is here for a reason. What's the second question was? Don't mind repeating.
The second question was, isn't change the only thing we can be sure of?
Yeah, and the only thing is expands us
Yeah.
and makes us grow and makes us to be creative. The only time that we can create new things, So change is not. It's not an enemy, even though it looks like an enemy, but it's not an enemy. It's here to help us to get better and discover different things about ourselves and discover our gifts and maybe push ourselves to the limit sometimes and do things that we never done before. Like I'm doing this right now. I never done this before. I've been on Facebook for around 10 years. But I never wanted to come out and share my wisdom with everyone, right? Now I'm like faced with the reality that I cannot do my show, which I bring experts to my show. They share their wisdom, and I just sit there and let them be. Now I'm faced with a different reality, and I'm pushed to get out there and share the wisdom I learned throughout my journey with everyone. So it does help you in your life. So if you're going through the change, it's because expanding you. Absolutely, Judy, you are absolutely correct. And thank you for being here with us today. By the way, Judy she's amazing. She has written so many books, and one of my favorite books, You Are More Than Enough. And that book could guide you in so many ways through the fear, through the change. I mean, there's a lot of knowledge, Judy, she shares with everyone. Thank you for being here, Judy, and for the questions. I appreciate it. I hope I answered it correctly.
I was also going to say, too, kind of like expanding on it a little bit, change takes us out of our comfort zone, right?
Yes.
And we don't like to be uncomfortable. Uncomfortable is not a good feeling.
Yes.
So that is why I think it is hard change on all of us, because we're out of our comfort zone. But at the same time, if we don't go out of our comfort zone, we can't grow.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
And Morel asked, if we know change is inevitable, and if we are more aware, can we get more used to it?
Yeah, because now you're aware of it. When you're aware of something, you know how to deal with it. It's no more unknown. It's known now to us. It's like the virus when they put a little bit. They give you shot before when you have the flu, right? The vaccine, right? They give you a little bit of shot because now your body gets used to it, right? It's the same concept. When your body gets used to something, when your mind understand that there is change that's going to happen and expect the change to happen, then you know how to deal with it. We have children, and that's why so many families have a hard time. We raise our children, and then when our children gets older, we get in shock because there is change happening to our children. We're used to yelling at children, saying, sit down and eat and do this and do this. And at one time, our children become more independent, and a change happened, and we get in shock as parents. Hey, we were teenager before, but we forget about that, right? Because we were so comfortable in growing being teenager. So, and then the same thing with even husband and wife. They grow. Tom and I, we have grown so much. When I met him, I was so shy and didn't speak up, and then he taught me to speak up, and man, he can't stop me now.
What have I done?
He created a monster.
He created a monster.
Look out.
That's what we joke about
Yeah.
that sometimes.
Yes.
And so yes, a change happened, and then it's hard when you get married and you bring someone, a new bride to your family, or she brings the husband to her family. You have a system before, and now you're gonna have to adopt a new system. He likes this, she likes this, her family likes this. There is a change happening, and the change is not comfortable. That's where it gets the families, they fight with each other and they don't like it. Because they're like Tom was saying, they're so comfortable, and now somebody's telling me what to do. Somebody's telling me to cook differently. To do the Thanksgiving in different way. We do Thanksgiving this way. How come we're gonna do it this way?
Yes.
So instead of coming together and say, okay, well, guess what? Let's do it halfway your way, halfway my way. But no, that's conflicts because everybody's comfortable.
Yes.
But when you understand there is change, then you can welcome your teenager. Understand your teenager, that they're growing. Your kids are growing. Understand your husband, he's getting a different level of life. You're going in different, you go in hormone time, We all do that, ladies, after certain amount of age. And husband needs to understand that. So we have change in our life. And this is where I think not only dealing just with the changes with the virus and what's happening right now, changes in your life, in every aspect of your life can affect you, because it changes us everywhere. They are everywhere. Routines are everywhere. But when we are aware of it, I'm very aware of it. So what I do, I usually recommend for people, okay, if you want to bring someone, a new person to your life, maybe prepare them before you introduce them to the family. Maybe prepare yourself before you show up to his family. Maybe ask questions about his family, so you are prepared for the changes that you're going to be faced with. It is going to be change. It is going to be different. And that's what I think the most, change is a very big subject.
It is a big subject. And it's interesting because Aimmee, when you were 12 years old, you started going through so many changes, but you adapted very well. Why do you think that it's easier for some people to adapt than others?
Well, because what happened is some people are feisty, and some people are not feisty. So I can't say, well, I'm more brave than other person. It happened that I'm feisty.
Yeah.
And then also what happened is because I cared about my brother, my little brother, my 6 years old brother. At that time, I wanted to live for him. And I think when we live for someone else, it helps us to not to think about us. You know what I mean? It helps us because we want to be the hero. We want to focus on the other person. I think that helped me a lot. And then after that, what kept me going is my daughter. My love for my daughter, whether she sees it or understands it or whatever it is, but I know in my heart how I wanted to keep going just to give her a good life as much as I could. And in my heart, in my mind, she kept me going. Because of her, if I didn't have her, it will be very hard to be brave. So look for something. If you don't have a child, you don't have a brother, look for something. Look for some homeless maybe to go and help, a shelter. Look for a woman, she needs help. There is always someone needs you. So there is no short of people, they don't need you. If you don't have a child, you don't have anything. There is you could go help animals. You could go help someone if you don't have what you think you need to have.
Reason,
yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons it kept me going. Other people, they couldn't survive. So many people in the war, some of them, they went on medication. Some of them, I have one of my neighbors on one level, she lives on top, she threw herself down from the building because she couldn't handle being by herself in the end and all that. So when I heard that, I'm like, oh my goodness. It's very hard. So many people commit suicide. Some people were survivors. Some people, like I said, went on on medication. And I just had to fight, and I told myself either I'm gonna survive, or the life is gonna break me or make me. So I had to make choices, and I had to adapt to every time. Every time I did the changes, it was easier for me. It became like almost nothing. Like for me, I don't feel heavy when something hit anymore, because it's exactly when you exercise your muscles, then you don't feel pain anymore as much. But when you never exercise the change, then as soon as you start going up and down like that, then the next day you're gonna be hurt. So the more you exercise change, the more you're aware of change, the better it is with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones, in the business, with your relationship. In every area of your life, it will make it, you'll be more mature, you'll be more accepting, you'll be more alert, and to do it it's like almost running. Always be alert that you have to practice this change.
So Mary asked, Tom, can you give an example in your marriage?
Give an example, like, I'm not sure if I understand exactly.
I think she's saying about change that you experienced or something.
An example in my marriage where I think things always evolve and change, but I think if you have a solid foundation in the very beginning is very, very important in any relationship. You're going to have so many things you have in common and ways of thinking about things. Of course, you're both two unique individuals, but the most important thing is the foundation, and that's what I would give as an example, to make sure that foundation is very
so
solid.
No matter what change happened,
Yes.
you still
You
be
can't
able
shake
to,
it.
You
Well,
can't shake it.
and an open line of communication.
Yeah.
Talk to one another.
Trusting.
And that's one thing me and Aimmee have always had that I'm very blessed is we're very able to sit and talk about things. If something bothers me, I come to her. If something's bothering her, she comes to me. So always keeping that open line of communication with one another, I think, is really important.
And also he puts me first. I put him first in certain areas. It's not like first or second. I mean, there is no. You say, oh, is your child first? I'm second, or is your husband first? I'm second. That's not what it is. The situation. We go into situation. Is that right, Tom? We go into whatever the situation it is. Like, okay, so should we put our feeling first, or should we put whatever is right to do?
Well, I can't speak for all men, just myself, but I can honestly say that there's been a lot of times, and in every relationship we know there's arguments.
Yeah.
But I can honestly say that there's a lot of times where I don't want to admit if I'm in the wrong. But after you talk to me and I've had a chance to take time to go over things and think things through, then I can come and, take the time to understand that and see your point of view. So again, it goes back to communication, and maybe you're not going to always resolve it right then and there, but you'll take the time to think things through, and once you think them through, you'll find a way to find a happy middle.
Yeah.
Interesting. So relating to change and relationships, Morale says, one of my good friends says I'm spicy. Maybe it's the Armenian in me. I can't agree more about that. How do I explain to someone I'm entering a relationship with that my sugar may come with some spice? So there's some change.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're going to have to understand the other person.
Yeah.
You're going to have to think about them, how they're going to receive you. and how you're gonna be able to explain yourself without them being shocked. Are they open to change? Are they the kind of person that they practice change? Their muscles strong on the change? Are they diverse? They travel a lot? Which kind of business they're in? Which kind of job they do? And then from there, like for example, even with my husband, when I do some change, like I'm doing we did the show, right, with the live audience, and then now I'm switching to this one. The way I talk to him about things, I take my time, I find the right time where he's relaxed, and then I talk to him. So you're gonna have to learn about the other person more than, you wanna learn about them and how they receive your message, how they receive you, how they can receive your changes. And then there you can control your own way of how you show them changes, and then slowly they get used to it. But when you come to someone right away, you want to show them the changes, you can overwhelm the other person without even noticing. They might love you so much, but they can't handle it and they can't deal with it. So what happened is, even relationship with your mom, dad, brother, sister, whatever it might be, if it's too fast on the other person, they shut down.
Yes.
So therefore, understand them. And when you understand the person, you know what kind of level you need to come in. That's something you can control.
And I can attest to Aimmee doing that. She does that with all of her relationships, but especially when she's dealing with me, when she has to tell me some harsh truths, she finds the time and the place, and she approaches it in such a way that she puts herself in my shoes and empathizes and says, okay, how is this going to come across, and how can I say this in a way that it's going to be received well? And that is a gift that you have, Aimmee, with
Thank
everyone.
you.
That is a wonderful gift that you have.
Thank you.
And that helps a lot make the medicine go down better when you're talking about change and things that you're not comfortable with,
And if you're talking about change, Stephanie, you're a very good testimonial for change, because Stephanie,
Yes.
you tell them about how hard it was for you to make change.
It was very hard. I mean, I don't even like it when I drive down the street and they have construction and they divert me in a different way. I don't like change at all. And Aimmee came into my life and she was like a remodeler of my house. She's like, move the rug here and take the carpet here and move the chair here and let's let some light in here. And I was like, what? Oh, what's happening? And at first I was very resistant.
But then when I understood that.
She understood that, and she slowly calmed down her approach, and she came to me in a different way, and I started to open up. And as a result, amazing things happened in my life because I was willing to adapt to the change. Mm-hmm. So that is so important, to be willing.
But you see, if somebody else will give up on that because they don't know how to deal with her, because she's completely not changeable.
Yeah.
Like, the change for her, it was like, don't move this from here. Like,
Yeah.
I am used to this. That's it.
Yes.
Don't tell me anything different.
Yes.
So it was almost impossible to even move. For her, it was too much. I moved. But
Yeah.
to me, it wasn't much at all. It was like nothing. I haven't done anything yet. But then I noticed that nothing and anything was too much for her. So instead of being about me, I had to think of her. You see, if you're having a relationship with someone, you need to think about them. If you care about them and you want to help them, in this case, I was her mentor, her coach. I wanted to make sure she succeeds. I wanted to make sure she's happy. I want to make sure she's get to where she needs to be. And Tom has the same personality as well, right, Tom? Change
Yes,
is very hard for you.
I gave up looking for things years ago, trust me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where some of the stuff, but yeah, change for me is definitely not easy. And I was going to say that, that's part of each one of our personalities. Some of
But
us
some
are
people more.
rigid, some of
Yeah.
us are not flexible, some of us, it's hard for us to accept things. So you have to a lot of times go inside inner workings and decide for yourself, are you really ready for a relationship? Because a relationship is a lot of give and take.
Yeah.
There's no perfect little golden road or yellow brick road or whatever it is.
And why isn't there?
Yeah, right.
Well, you know, if somebody found that, boy, I'd sure like to hear about it. But I mean, the most important thing is you know that the individual you're with truly loves you, and you truly love that person.
They're
And then
soulmates.
everything else will just fall together because you'll work on it. And that is something you will do in the course of a relationship, is working on it.
But
'Cause
what
there's
happened
always
even
things
with
happen.
Tom, I'm used to change. I came to his life. He never opened the windows before. He had a roommate, and then when I opened the windows, the roommate says, "You're opening windows, and we never saw the window open before." I'm like, "Oh," and then I'm used to change. I'm used to like move. I move things around. I run around, and I'm used to change. So it took me time to understand the opposite than you, Maral. So I was the change, and then he wasn't. But again, I had to slow down a little bit and appreciate him and understand him and get to his level and slowly teach him how to work on the change. And he tells me how many times Tom told me you see your life different perspective now than
Oh, absolutely,
than
because
when I'm, you know.
you definitely took me out of that comfort zone, and you know, it wasn't easy for me to do that. I like to always be in that comfort zone, and change is hard for me. So, but absolutely, you know, you've changed me. I would say 100%.
Yeah, just but because the patience. So if you care about someone, just have patience and always thinking of them, because it's easier for you to calm down than them accepting the change. It's
Yes.
easier.
Yes.
It's much easier for you to calm down than anyone accepting change if they don't know how to deal with it. It's easier for someone who runs 5 miles to run 2 miles. It's hard for someone who never runs, expect them to run 5 miles.
Right.
Right?
Right. And nobody's, you know, none of us are perfect. Well, we all have our faults. We all
Yes.
make mistakes.
So-
We try to learn from them and do better. And you know, it's just part of the plan. You know, part of life.
So Maral, thank you for being there. Judy, thank you for being here. Mary, who else is there? I can't see who's there.
George Chanos joined.
Oh, George Shannon. Hello,
Yes,
George.
yes,
George.
Yeah.
Nice to have you with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another.
I think your daughter's on as
Oh,
well.
Silva, love
Hey.
you, mommy.
Yeah.
Hi,
Love
Silva.
And your friend Morale.
you. Okay, hi, Maral, my best friend.
Morale.
Yes.
My
Yes.
childhood best friend. She's
Say hi to your
supportive.
husband.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm so excited. I hope you guys like this segment, whatever we're gonna call it. This is something new for me, but I hope I was able to shed some light into the subject and send us some more subject. We received from you guys from later on. A lot of people are watching, and I'm receiving a lot of good messages from a lot of people that they like in the show, and I hope you guys continue watching, supporting, and sharing with your friends and sharing with your loved ones. And who knows, maybe this will help one person, right?
Yes.
And I thank
Absolutely.
you so much for your support. And I look forward to seeing you next week, every Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Yes.
And I'm hoping my husband will come again next week.
Yay, Tom!
Let's see.
We'll see.
Let's see. That's what happened. Okay. Bye, everyone. Thank you for your support.
Bye.
We'll see you next week.